This is a direct call out to Canon to please add these items into the next firmware update for the Canon R5 and the R6. If you guys don't know, I have a great Facebook group for the R5 and the R6. We have a lot of really high-end shooters there, and we're getting some tremendous feedback. And I asked them a question recently, you know, if you could have anything reasonable in a firmware update, what would you ask Canon for? These are the best answers. Some of them were outlandish. I'm not including them. Let me read them off to you. Hopefully Canon will see this and put some thought into it. I am happy to announce that one of the biggest issues, the lockup of the camera, seems to have been resolved in the last firmware update. So if your camera is freezing or it's just locking up and you can't use it, update your firmware, it should go away. I would love to know if it doesn't solve the issue. So the number one, the most requested item, 75 people asked this, is if Canon, can you please allow us to lock the metering to a single focusing square? This is something that many other cameras can do. It doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal. We would love to have that ability to meter from our focusing square. Second big thing that people are asking for is the ability that when we delete an image off a memory card, if there is a way to make it to delete it off both memory cards at the same time. So as a shooter, when you're shooting, if you're writing to both memory cards and you delete an image off a card, it doesn't delete it off the other card. This should be something that needs to be addressed. Tons of people are asking for some more video options, including 120 frames per second at 1080p. We've had a ton of people make the request to have some sort of customization on any of the buttons where we can turn off the back monitor quickly and reactivate it when we touch another button. Right now it's in one of these, timer modes where it'll turn off. Some people want it to shut off right away, and a customization that could do that would be awesome. Many users like myself have multiple cameras like the R5 and the R6 together. I know a few people who have multiple R5s, and they've gone through custom setups that I've demonstrated in other videos, very specific, for the C1 or the C2 and how they're setting their cameras up. They want the ability to save those settings to a memory card and transfer it over. It's something that Nikon does very nicely. Canon, we would love the ability to transfer our user settings between cameras. This next feature is the infinity scroll of the focus point. So when you get to the far edge and you go in the direction of the edge, it would pop up on the other side. We would also love to have that from top to bottom. There are a lot of cameras that do this. Canon, please put that infinity edge on the single focusing square and we would love it. The final three features that were most often requested by our Facebook group was the rate button to be fully customizable. They also asked for a quick crop mode button that would allow us to customize one of our other buttons to jump into crop mode. Very useful for the R5, or at least see an outline of what we were shooting. That would be cool. And finally, we want a feature that allows us to toggle whether live view or exposure preview is working when we have a flash attached. Something that we can specifically just force the camera to say ambient light exposure preview or just turn it off. What's happening right now is really confusing. When you put a flash on to the camera, it jumps out of exposure preview. It's really confusing. I made a video about that. So Canon, if you're listening, those are the features that we are requesting the most in my Facebook group. If you own the R5 or the R6 and you want to participate in some of these polls, we would love to have you. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.